with 18 months almost of COVID in our world, the pandemic's obviously changed the way that we think about daily life. Do you think that some of the advancements that we've made in the pharmaceutical industry to combat COVID will actually help the pharmaceutical industry from a PR perspective going forward?
So just so I understand, you're focused more on from a reputational issue in terms of the pharma industry?
Yeah, I think some would argue that pharmaceutical industry hasn't had the best reputation for whatever case for the last 5 years. I mean, you feel like the general public will view pharma because we've been able to develop vaccines in pretty rapid rapid pace to combat this virus. Do you think the general public might have a more favorable perception of the pharmaceutical industry because of what's happened in the COVID world?
Banks, I think it's a great question. It's also a very complicated question, right? So I was reading an article, the other day, and I saw where there was a Harris poll, and it indicated that from a favorability standpoint, that the public was looking at pharma and had a favorability ranking of in excess of 60%, which is up about 50% from the year before. Then I was reading another article where there was no change. So I think it's, at the end of the day, it's probably not fully understood where things are headed. If I take a step back, obviously I clearly hope that from a reputational standpoint, things can change. When you look at what's been done in this country, it's been remarkable from a logistics issue. After we got a hold and understood with Project Warp Speed and what was going on with the government, and how the government ultimately supported some of the pharmaceutical companies, and we've seen what happened here with Moderna, we've seen what's happened with Pfizer and J&J, and there's follow-ons to come. It's really a remarkable story, and I'm hoping that will carry through to the public. Now, we're far from done, right? So at the end of the day, there's more variants coming. There's going to be booster requirements coming. There's a lot of work and a lot of collaboration that's going to have to be done throughout the industry with big pharma and small R&D companies, and that I hope trickles down to the public perception. And when I take a step back, I mean, what a lot of these companies have done has truly been remarkable from the supply chain standpoint. And we see the news every day with what goes on with Pfizer and Moderna. But I'll take my own company, Endo, and just a rather small company, and how supporting what's happening really can impact and change how you operate. So we are actually, and it's in the public domain, we're actually a CMO for Novavax. So if and when Novavax gets approved, and I think the timeline would be as if they get an emergency acceptance, would be in the June or July timeframe. We have an incredible facility in Rochester, but you had to shut that down. You had to break into your lines. You have to put this product into operations. You've got to scale it up, and then you really have to build inventory and sequester the inventory until you get an approval. And a lot of times the public doesn't see that, right? And I'm hoping that over time that these things can be better understood, because we're just one small example of what's going on and how many people and how many companies that this touch. But I think at the end of the day, our country, nobody could have done this as well as we can. And I do hope that over time, and I do think more time is going to be required, that it will spill over to a more positive reputational issue. We're not going to sugarcoat. There's obvious things going on here in the environment with opioid trials. There's a California trial that started, I think it was April 19th. We'll see where that heads. We know about drug pricing. These things are all clearly challenging, the question here. But at the end of the day, the collaboration that the pharma industry has brought forward is remarkable, and the logistical execution has just been remarkable. So a
Really
little bit more time, but I'm hoping.